Another federal agency is announcing employee cuts, and this time it's an office in the Department of Labor. They're going to be reducing their staffing by 20% this year. The reason why? They don't have the money in their budget to sustain the employees they currently have. The office is the OIG, Office of Inspector General, and it has already experienced shrinking from last year. It looks like it will continue to get smaller. We talk about reduction in forces, we talk about layoffs sometimes. This one, it's a little bit different. They are offering the employees either a separation incentive of $25,000, which might sound nice to have an extra $25K, but it's not really $25K. Once you consider the taxes have to come out, so you're left with about $17,000 to $18,000 in your pocket. But if you were planning on leaving the Department of Labor anyway, then this is just extra money for you. The other option they're given is an early retirement. There's no money, it's just a quick ticket to retirement. This means that if the federal employee has 20 years of service and they're 50 years old, they can retire like that. Or if they have 25 years of service, regardless of their age, they can retire immediately. The DOL jobs that will be impacted include criminal investigators, auditors, analysts, and administrative staff. The impact of these cuts is going to be huge. What this office works on, part of what they work on, all those fraud cases that you heard about with the pandemic funds, the millions and millions of dollars that were illegally distributed to people that shouldn't have gotten it, a lot of those cases are going to be dropped now. There are over 160,000 open unemployment insurance fraud complaints. This fraud was done throughout our country by people in groups and organizations, but it wasn't just inside this country. It was also done by international people. There was international criminal organizations that were able to file unemployment insurance. They've never stepped foot in this country, but they were still able to get the money from the Department of Labor. Now, the big problem with all of this is there's a 5-year statute limit, meaning that after 5 years, these people cannot be prosecuted anymore. So, with OIG reducing the number of people they have on staff, a lot of these cases, they're going to have to be just dismissed. As of today, DOL was only able to arrest about 1,000 people connected to fraud. This is less than 1% of the complaints. So it looks like there's a good probability a lot of these criminals, they're going to be able to get off. And it's not just these cases, but the OIG had planned 10 audits that it's canceling. They're not going to do them. And if you ever went through an OIG audit, you have to consider, first off, when you're talking about these larger agencies, almost all of them have an OIG. And the OIG inspects the agency. The same thing with the GAO, the Government of Accountability Office. They run inspections to ensure the agency is not committing fraud, waste, or abuse, or there's nothing else going on in that agency that could bring discredit upon the government. Because if these agencies did not exist, the actual federal agency could make a huge mistake, like DOD losing trillions of dollars. So they play an important role when it comes to compliance. And what OIG will do is sit down with the offices in the agency, and they will draft up recommendations like, we found some issues with your software, so we recommend you update it. We recommend you get some new code to close up these gaps, and we recommend you publish a statement about it. So all these recommendations, they carry on from quarter to quarter, from year to year, and it's the agency's responsibility to satisfy what's in the recommendation. Or the agency can say, we understand that this is an issue. We don't have the budget, so we will not address it. But something needs to be said. If you look at the Department of Labor's OIG open recommendations, there are over 200 of them right now. Because of this 20% cut in OIG, I decided to look on USA Jobs, see if there's any job postings available, because you wouldn't think there would be jobs. But I found 3 job announcements. The first one is for an 1102 job, then a 2210 job, and then we have a student volunteer position where they're not willing to pay you anything. I'm not too surprised to see a 2210 or an 1102 in here because those are high demand jobs. Almost every federal agency is looking for their own 2210, and a lot of them are looking for an 1102. It's on the urgent hire list, so I understand that. But when it comes to cuts in federal agencies, I don't think this is going to be the trend for 2024. On the contrary, I think a lot of the larger agencies, looking at Department of Homeland Security, VA, DOD, those agencies will continue to experience growth. If you're worried, or if you do find yourself in a situation where you're getting laid off or you're experiencing a reduction in force, Keep in mind that also opens you up to another hiring path. You would be eligible for the career transition hiring path. To be clear, in this situation, not everyone's going to pick the separation incentive or the retirement. The agency is also looking at attrition, and every federal agency, they should be considering attrition, which means people that normally would retire or people that jump agencies looking for promotions. And then you have some people that just jump into the private sector because they're lured over there by more money or the location or whatever their reasons are. So people are constantly leaving out of their agencies. And it's for this reason there are quite a few agencies on usajobs.gov. They post 12-month roster positions or public notice 12-month positions. You should apply for these positions. You apply one time, you're evaluated, you're considered multiple times throughout the year, and agencies will strategically start to hire and onboard individuals as other people are leaving that agency. So it's one of the tools that HR can use, that actual agencies can use to make sure they don't fall too low understaffed. If you are still looking for a federal government job, I did a live stream recently where I discussed questions about usajobs.gov, about different hiring paths, different government jobs. A lot of these questions, they could be on your mind. If you're interested in that, then I want you to watch this video next. If you would like to see more videos like this, please click like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.